Hello, I'd like to talk about some spiritual books that I really enjoyed and that I highly recommend to read. There are so many, I've decided to start with this one, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's not officially a spiritual book, but kind of is deep within. It's a spiritual book, in my opinion, um, covered in science, which makes it really appealing to people who are less into spirituality and more into science, as I was when I started reading this book a few years ago. Was I a student? No, I was working then in the financial industry, and I was well kind of skeptical, I think, of spirituality, and I didn't really I did meditate then. I think I did meditate a few minutes a day, 10, 15, something like that. Occasionally I read something kind of spiritual, but that's it. And then this book, it showed me the science behind spirituality, and that really helped to have more faith in it back then when I was interested in science and science could convince me. So wonderful book. It really shows how there's so much more to life, to the world, than what we see and what we believe. And it takes so many ancient wisdoms, wraps it up in modern science, and makes it really attractive to people who want to experience more of life than they do right now. And that may be healing, that might be doing more for the world, could be anything. I got this book because I had hay fever back then, and I wanted to reduce that, and I tried all sorts of things, but didn't work. So I thought I'd try it this way. And this book gives countless examples of people who have healed themselves through their beliefs, their mindset, how they look at the world. And I started doing this for that reason. But then I went way deeper because the crux of this book is that it has a lot of theory, um, and it has meditations. You can buy the meditations on the website, or you can find some on YouTube. And those meditations, they're quite long. They're at least 45 minutes, give or take 1 hour, some even longer. But because you read the book, you follow the theory, I was inclined to do those meditations, to make time for that. And well, they're guided meditations by Dr. Joe Dispenza himself. And because he's a neuroscientist, he has used audio techniques that really help to get into, the groove, maybe, to get into a meditative state more easily. So that practice combined with this theory, it really takes you really deep into meditation, into spirituality, and this book is really what got me started with the next steps on the spiritual path. I don't really like to call it that way. I think every path is a spiritual path, but anyhow, after reading this book, I could dive deeper into works of authors like Eckhart Tolle, Maharishi Nisargadatta. I needed I needed the bridge from science to spirituality, and this book is really wonderful for that. And those meditations, I still do them because I just love them. The audio is just wonderful. The book also explains how sound waves and frequencies can have an impact on the brain and the consciousness. So yeah, definitely recommend it, to give it a try um, if you're interested in healing through the mind, but also if you just want a deeper experience of spirituality, but you're not really inclined to try long meditations or deep spirituality. I think the book is less suitable for people who are already uh, no, advanced, I guess, in the spiritual path. But definitely wonderful for beginners and people who can appreciate the science behind ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom. So yeah, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza.